our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Ashley Capps, Bonner Latham, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business, come and see one of our experienced team members at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive. Member FDIC.
Have you experienced increased aches and pains recently? Have you heard of CBD? Hemp Garden is your premier CBD retailer in Eastern North Carolina. Do you find yourself having anxiety or in need of extra sleep support? Hemp Garden has a variety of Delta 8 and hemp-derived Delta 9 products that can assist with those issues. If you're unable to stop by the store, don't worry. Give them a call today at 413-6100 for a consultation, and they'll ship right to your door. Hemp Garden, 3040 South Evans Street in the Target Shopping Center in Greenville.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
It's the season for warmer clothes, hot apple cider, and changing leaves. But what doesn't change and what won't change is our commitment to your complete satisfaction each and every time you visit our dealership. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Complete customer satisfaction isn't just a seasonal thing, it's delivered every day. That's why we are the place to find your next truck or SUV. Come in and get you one. Phelps Chevrolet. Visit today or see us on the web.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Brian Buck with Buck Insurance Agency. This season, when you attend your favorite sporting event, take the game day pledge. If your team is playing, win or lose, support your team to the end of the game. When you leave early, you risk missing your favorite athlete making the play of their career. When our family buys a ticket, we always plan to stay to the very end. Take the game day pledge this season with Buck Insurance Agency. Play to the end, stay to the end.
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of PIP Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 five-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growitpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. PIP, where business goes to grow.
Take a hit from a 300-pound linebacker, and you better be wearing pads. Take a hit on the road, and you better have good auto coverage. When you've got North Carolina Farm Bureau Auto Insurance, you've got the best local agents ready to help you bounce back. If you don't, well, you'll probably play football without a helmet, too. In Pitt County, call Brandon Manning or Randy Daniels at 252-756-3007. North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company. Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina Incorporated. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. An independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, The Rick House, Greenville Utilities, BMS Builders, Seared Chop House, The Gavigan Agency, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into Christmas week. How about that? Better get that Christmas shopping done and get it done soon. Mark Meadows, the executive director of the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, will be our first guest coming up today on the Brian Bailey Show. Ruffin McNeill, the East Carolina Hall of Famer, joins us after that. And then legendary recruiting guru Sammy Batten will get us ready for the National Signing Day, which is set for Wednesday this week. How would you like to be Mike Houston? You got Christmas, you got a bowl game, you got transfer portal. portal issues going on. You got all kinds of things with recruiting and the National Signing Day, but it is a busy, busy time as we get set for Christmas week here on Pirate Radio. Mark Meadows kicks us off, and we'll have that for you coming up next on The Brian Bailey Show.
It's back. The annual Pirate Radio Holiday Treasure Chest is back. The chest is loaded with fabulous prizes from our fantastic sponsors. Tune in to Pirate Radio Live, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you could win this.
A $100 gift card from Tiebreakers, or a Bud Light fire pit, cooler, and tailgate chair from Carolina Eagle Distributing.
It's going to be a December to remember on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Your vehicle is a big part of your life. That's why you should trust the team at Greenville Auto World for all your vehicle needs. Greenville Auto World believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Visit greenvilleautoworld.net to see their fully stocked inventory of SUVs, trucks, and cars. Need a lift kit, custom rims, or wheels? Greenville Auto World can upgrade your vehicle today. For sales or service, visit Greenville Auto World on Highway 43 in Greenville.
Take a break from the holiday hustle and bustle with a visit to Jersey Mike's. I'm Wes Shepard, your local Jersey Mike's franchisee in Eastern North Carolina for over 25 years. Let us treat you the best subs in town. We can also take care of any of your catering needs this holiday season, large or small. Plus, we partner with many third-party delivery services that can bring your meal to you. Jersey Mike's, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Everybody likes Jersey Mike's.
Everybody likes Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's.
Is your mouth watering yet? We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Hit me with the sound effects again. Ladies, gentlemen, if you're feeling the way I'm feeling, we should both go get us a piece of that cheesy, beefy perfection with a delicious, refreshing Pepsi. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Join us at the Riverfront Convention Center of Craven County on Thursday, December 22nd for the North Carolina Symphony Holiday Pops. Enjoy this festive concert full of orchestral holiday favorites you know and love. Arrive early for photos with Santa. For more information, visit ncsymphony.org.
Winslow's is now Fifth Street Hardware Restaurant and Tap Room. With a brand new look, Fifth Street Hardware also has a new menu and serving lunch and dinner every Tuesday through Sunday and brunch starting at 10:30 on Sundays. What else is new? Well, they have poker every Tuesday night, Trivia Wednesday with DJ Captain Morgan, and on Friday and Saturday nights they have live music open till 2 a.m. serving light appetizers all night long. New look, new name, same location on Fifth Street. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for more specials. Fifth Street Hardware Restaurant and Tap Room.
Pirate Radio.
You know, I think this is a pretty blue-collar, tough, hard-nosed fan base, and that's the way our teams are going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this busy Monday for our show. Mark Meadows kicks us off, the executive director of the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. Mark, welcome to the show. How you feeling these days, bud? We tried to get up with you a couple of times. You've been a little under the weather, haven't you?
I was a little under the weather about a week or so. Well, whatever weekend we made the announcement, it was I was not doing well, and I had no voice. So my voice is coming back, so I'm good.
Good. We're glad you're getting better. You got to get better. The bowl game's coming up, isn't it?
Absolutely.
When you look at the matchup, Coastal Carolina and East Carolina, what are your thoughts there?
Well, it looks like it's going to be a fun game. My prediction is, lots of offense, high scoring, and make it a really fun game for the fans in the stands, and also those that are watching on ESPN. It's a primetime game on ESPN, so hopefully we'll have a big audience watching the shootout.
Mark, take us through the bowl process. When you guys are getting together and you're trying to get the bowls, the matchups everywhere, and you hear so many, you see so many bowl projections and that kind of thing. Do you guys work with that at all? Is that just an ESPN call? And what happens, in the behind the scenes as far as that goes?
Well, yeah. So most of the time, and not to throw off on anyone that making the bowl predictions out there, they're having fun and they're promoting the sport and they're promoting the bowl games, and but oftentimes they're not, they're far from being right. but so as the process kind of unfolds, it's kind of a negotiation. We're tied in with actually 3 different conferences, and then ESPN Events, which owns and operates our game, is tied in with every conference. And so, it's more of a negotiation. It's more of a behind the scenes with the conference commissioners, my boss, and the athletic directors. And so, it kind of all comes together. You kind of have an idea of who might be in the game, a few days before Selection Sunday. But oftentimes I've gone home on a Friday thinking that we were having 2 particular teams in the game, and then come Sunday, neither of those teams are in our game, and we have 2 others. So it's always interesting.
How far back do you guys go working on this bowl? I mean, when you finish up one, do you start working on the next year right away?
Yeah, we'll take a week or so off, and then we'll come back in January, and about mid-January we'll start doing recaps. We'll work with our venues and just see what went well and what didn't go so well. How can we improve for the next 2 teams that are coming in here, and then we do the recaps. We finish up with all of our sponsors, and then we start working on next year. Usually about March or April, we'll start our planning process for next year, and then usually around May or June we'll know our date, and then we can start putting some contracts together for the venues, and then sales season's on us, and then I'm having a conversation with you again.
There you go. Well, I think we've had this conversation before, because the Pirates were in the very first Birmingham Bowl. That was the PapaJohns.com Bowl. That was the first one, right?
It was the very first one.
Yeah.
I played South Florida. I think you were here again in January of 2015 against Florida. So
yep.
You played two of the I guess 4 Florida schools. So glad to have you back again, and look forward to your fans being in Birmingham. I think they'll enjoy the cold weather. I don't know if you guys are following it, but we got a big cold weather snap coming through this weekend. But then it looks like it's getting a little bit better before the 27th. So it won't be unbearably cold out there.
All right, Mark, what's some of the things that the players will be doing when they get down there?
So you guys are arriving on the 23rd. That evening, we will take both teams to the Start On Comedy Club here in Birmingham. We'll have a little entertainment and some dinner. One of the stories we always like to tell is, going back to that first game, we have to remind everyone that's serving players that players eat a little bit larger portions than regular people do. So going back to that very first game, I think we counted one guy coming out of the buffet. It's a pasta buffet. We counted one guy coming out of the buffet with 19 meatballs on his plate. So we think
19 meatballs. That's the record.
We think that is. We haven't caught anybody with any more over the years. But then we'll have some fun things for them during the week. Of course, they're here, as I told the coaches. They're here to practice and win a game. Both teams are serious about that, and so we want them to experience a little bit of Birmingham and have a little downtown. So we'll take them to the Eplex Gaming Center here in town. It is an amazing area. They'll get a couple of hours it's a huge place with probably 20 virtual reality stations. So these guys that are on these 2 teams should have a big time there. We do our always present bowling challenge that we do every year, and then of course both teams will get their gift suites probably on Christmas night, I believe it is, or Christmas Eve. We'll make sure we take care of them on that front.
All right, and the big event for the fans then is on Monday, the big pep rally, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We'll start that pep rally at 1 o'clock. Oh, we'll start the Fan Fest, so Bud Light Fan Fest at 1 o'clock. And we'll have live music from 1 until 5 on the stage, 2 different bands. And then at 5 o'clock, Coastal Carolina will have their pep rally. 5:30, East Carolina will have their pep rally. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll have a little fireworks demonstration. But it's a fun area for fans of both teams to come out and gather, along with the Birmingham people that are present. It's right there at Uptowns. It's right across the street from the stadium. Again, live music on the stage all day. We've got food and beverages for all ages. We've got corporate displays. Folks will be out there. And then, sampling areas and, interactive games. Pretty much anything you would want to do at a tailgate that but you don't have to put up your own tent. You come out there and have a good time.
I'm sorry?
And then on game. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to go to game day. Game day is the big tailgate.
Yeah, so game day we'll start at 1:30 and go until 5:30. And it's basically everything we're doing on the day before, except for the pep rally and the fireworks. Everything else is the same. We've got live music. We've got 4 hours, 5 hours, or 4 hours of live music out there. Man's Best Friends, a bluegrass band that's been playing at our pregame for 15 years, a local group, and they learn the fight songs for both teams. And so, they'll throw those in every now and then. And so it's a fun gathering place. Again, food, beverage, everything you'd want at a tailgate, basically, 100, 150 feet from the gates to the stadium.
And things have changed for you guys since you've gotten the new stadium. Things are, this is a really nice, 40,000 plus seat stadium right there in the downtown area.
Yeah, we had the first sellout there last year. 41,871, I think, was the crowd in its protected stadium. It is at Uptown Birmingham. It's right across the street from the Sheraton in the Uptown area. Top Golf is within walking distance of there. So it's a fun area that the city has created right there in the downtown area. And the stadium is extremely nice, great club area, great. Got a lot of private suites. But the seating is great. Most seats on the sidelines are, the bench back seating, and then so it's pretty comfortable place. You don't have anybody's knees in your back for most of the game. And again, we're excited about the game and, the two teams coming in and putting on a show.
Mark Meadows, the executive director of the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, joining us on this Monday. Mark, anything else you want to tell Pirate fans before we let you go?
Just come to Birmingham. We've always enjoyed having you guys in town. I remember you guys, your fans, telling us that you like something to do before the game. So we've got something for you to do. Just hope you show up.
All right, got some Pirate beverages ready to go for the Birmingham Bowl coming up. Mark, I'm glad you're feeling better, and thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you down in Birmingham.
Thank you very much. Take care.
All right, Mark Meadows, executive director of the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, kicking us off on this Monday. We'll take our second commercial break. Coming up next, Ruffin McNeill, the East Carolina Hall of Famer. I want to have Coach Ruff on to talk a little bit about the late Mike Leach, who he worked with for a decade at Texas Tech. So we'll talk about that coming up next as the Brian Bailey Show continues as we kick off Christmas week after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. The Pirates coming off an impressive 64-56 win over South Carolina on Saturday in Greenville, South Carolina. Are back home on the hardwood Wednesday night, hosting High Point. ECU is now 8-4. High Point lost to UNC Wilmington yesterday, 85-82. Tip-off time for the Pirates' last non-conference game of the year will be at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. What a day yesterday for former Pirate Zay Jones of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jags win over Dallas 40-34 in overtime. Jones had 6 receptions for 109 yards and 3 TDs. Despite the loss, Dallas has clinched a playoff spot. The Panthers lost to the Steelers 24-16, and the Commanders lost to the Giants 20-12. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
Love is never having to say you're sorry for your internet, because with MetroNet, you get fast, reliable, 100% fiber speeds you'll love with unlimited data, so you can stream, study, surf, and game on all your devices simultaneously. No lag times or buffering. MetroNet offers student deals. Get 100 megabit internet for just $39.95 a month. Switch to MetroNet today at metronet.com/switch. MetroNet. Love your internet.
For the latest from the world of golf. Tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Do you have any real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about this current real estate market? Do you need a property manager for all your rental houses? This is proud ECU alum Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty and SD Harris Properties, and I would love to help answer every question you have and show you a real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. Every step of the way, I'm here to make your dreams a stress-free reality. Call me today at 347-1857. That's 347-1857. Go Pirates.
Pirate Radio.
We're going to be bigger, faster, stronger, and older. That's always a good combination.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we continue on trying to get up with Coach Ruff right now at his office at North Carolina State University, home of the Wolfpack, and we're trying to get him right now. It's going right to voicemail, so he may be on the phone, and we're trying to track him down as we speak. I want to thank Mark Meadows, the executive director of the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, for joining us in that first segment. In case you missed some of that, the big events for the Birmingham Bowl include the pep rally and the Bud Light Fan Fest that's going on. As far as that goes, the Bud Light Fan Fest from 1 to 6, and the East Carolina Pep Rally set for 6:30 to 7 o'clock Eastern Time is how that works. And then the tailgate, basically the same thing as what Mark said, set for the next day. Pirates at 7 and 5, and Coastal Carolina at 9 and 3 on the year. Protective Stadium, the site for the bowl game. So Clip's looking at me like I wrote the number down wrong. I got a bad feeling maybe I did.
Did you resend it to me?
Yeah.
Text it to me, or?
Well, it's hard to do that as I'm on the air. I can hardly chew gum and walk at the same time. I tell you what we'll do. We'll take another quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll have Coach Ruff. We'll double-check the phone number, and then we'll do that. Just take a semi-break, and back with more on our show right after this.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger.
Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers, better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's only true chop house. We're open 7 days a week. Seared combines a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Lunch or dinner at Seared is a quality-driven experience where we highlight a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house, located on Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork. Come see us at Seared 7 days a week.
Great. It's 30 degrees in here. This is going to be a cold night.
No one's coming out this late.
I'm on firewood.
Dad! I'll put hot coals in our socks for bedtime.
Mom!
Hi, I'm from Delcor Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Got an email about your heat being out?
That was me. I sent it from my phone.
I think your socks are on fire.
Call Delcor today to get a new system installed for less than $100 a month. Offer expires soon. Go to delcorinc.com. Monthly fee based on new system financing is 9.9% APR for 120 months. Call Delcor for details.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. We got our ducks in a row now. I had the wrong number written down for Coach Ruffin. He joins us now from Raleigh in North Carolina State, 42-34 in 6 years with the Pirates. In fact, the last time East Carolina won a bowl game, Coach Ruff was on the sideline for East Carolina, and he joins us now. Coach, how's your holiday season going so far?
Oh, BB, it's all good, man. I'm sorry I missed your call. I was charging that phone up, but I'm glad to get you and talk to you, man. I appreciate the reach out. Thank you. I hope everything's good with you.
Everything's great. When you look back at the 10 seasons you spent with Mike Leach, and it was such a, just a gut punch to the whole college football world. I only had a chance to meet him once, and that was way back when the Pirates won the bowl game against Texas Tech in the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. But you spent 10 years on his staff. You were his right-hand man. I mean, I'm sure you've got stories and stories, but how shocking was that whole news for you?
Oh, it was. I mean, from the Sunday it happened, because we got a lot of the network that was there and came from Mike and the Texas Tech staff is really countrywide now, nationally wide. And so, that Sunday night when everything began to happen, people reached out to me, and then I just did some research and started making calls and found out he was in the hospital and what had happened there. And, man, then the next day, whatever, like everyone else heard, I was in complete shock. And I talk about how Dave has been there in my challenging times. The first person to call let me know was Dave, Coach Doran. He had heard it first. He was on the road and speaking. And man, it was a gut punch. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, it just kind of shook the whole college football world because, and some of the things that have come out since then, some of the funniest things that, that he was such a pirate. And since you're a pirate, I mean, obviously you guys got along that way, but he had just some of the greatest quotes and was really just an odd bird, wasn't he?
Well, I think the word BB that fits him a little bit better is that he was unique, but he was original. What you saw was not an act. It was not a game. It was not a play, acting in a play or something of that sort. That's just how Mike was. That's what I think people that work for him and people that met him, when you took a step back and realize that's how he is. Whether he's talking to reporters or whether he's playing in a major bowl game or whether we were down at Key West on a staff trip, that was Mike. And I think that word, the unique word and original word fits him very well.
I think so, too. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but there was a picture that was floating around, and it said in memoriam, and it had Coach, and in the background was Dave Nichol. And somebody said, if you know the story, you know how touching this picture actually is. And really, it grabbed me. And I know if you had seen it, it was really breathtaking, the picture, because it was an accidental picture. I'm sure it was just supposed to be of Leach, but in the background, and that was really strange. Really kind of told the story.
Well, there's a staff picture, 2002 picture, I think it was, when we call him Super Dave, when Dave was there, Mike, another coach we coached with, Tom McVeigh, Dave Brown, the great Michigan Wolverine player who he coached with us there. A lot of those guys, it was sort of similar happenings, and that's a unique picture. But also, the story behind it with Dave. Dave knew the offense so well. He helped Lincoln learn the offense, and that's why when I had a chance to hire him in East Carolina, I did. Without hesitation. So that was a unique picture. I'm sure I haven't seen that photo as of yet, BB, but yeah, that was a unique picture. As a matter of fact, when we played Mississippi State a couple years ago here, we played them down in Starksville. Dave and I talked the entire time before we had to go warm up, so about 45 minutes, and then next thing I knew, he was going to Southern Cal with Lincoln, and everything went from there. Tough deal. Nick was a great guy too.
Yeah, Dave Nichol passing away, and that was a tragedy as well. But and he was, he was here with us at East Carolina, and then he had a chance to go with Lincoln Riley at the USC. And but that picture, I'm sure if you run across it, you'll think about it. You'll say, "Man, Bailey was right," because this thing will grab at your heartstrings. Speaking of Lincoln, he came to East Carolina with you. I think Lincoln was 12 when he got here. I mean, you took some comments, and people say, "Hey, he's too young. He's too young," and I guess Ruff knew best, didn't he?
Well, I guess everybody's got something they're pretty good at, BB.
Yeah.
I think one of my things I'm able to judge people and watch and observe, like I do now here. But I had watched Lincoln come from a student assistant. You've heard the story, to a graduate assistant. I mean, student assistants make $1 million zeros. Times $1 million zeros,
yeah.
How much money they make, and then graduate assistant, then full time, and everything started happening pretty just uniquely. But I did get a lot of questions about his age, and I said I'm old enough for all of us, so don't worry about that. You'll see. And not that I was trying to put pressure on Link, but I just knew what he was capable of doing because I watched him come from the ground up. And everybody sees it exactly now what's happening now, whether it was at Oklahoma. Now Southern Cal, and he's still the same. We text a lot, weekly, sometimes daily, and he's as humble as he was when he was with us at East Carolina, BB.
Yeah, and he's still making $1 million zeros, but now there's a little number in front of all those $1 million zeros, isn't there?
Yeah, he's done pretty well for himself,
I'd say.
So, yeah, he really has. I tell you what, and I know you talked about it, but while we were there, I know we talked about Mike, but this is along the same lines. Lincoln turned down 5 jobs with me that paid him 3, 4, and 5 times what I was paying him.
Yeah,
East Carolina. So it wasn't like he just jumped to the first thing going to Oklahoma. He done a lot of jobs, but I know we both, miss Mike, and I'm sure we both owe a lot to Mike. Not sure we do owe both a lot to Mike. And Mike's the longest place working with Mike at Texas Tech. BB is the longest place I've been at any stop. I've been at 13 different stops, and this is the 14th now. That's the longest I've been anywhere.
10 seasons.
10 seasons.
Yeah.
And we did some good things.
There's some great things. And then when Mike was suspended that one year, you were the interim coach for the head coach in the Alamo Bowl when you guys beat Michigan State 41-31. And that had to be hard for you, too, because obviously you're loyal to Coach Leach, and he had some issues going on, but you were able to take over that football team and win that bowl game.
Well, yeah, that was a unique situation. It was, in my opinion, unheard of. And, but I was, fortunately I was raised, and my dad and mom, two prepare for all situations, and I've been preparing for it, to have it happen that quickly, to be able to adjust, improvise. But I was lucky to have a great staff, and the kids played extremely well. And it was a unique situation there with Mike and having to take over for him in that type of fashion. But I was glad we had a chance to win the game, but it was very hard for me because Mike and I got really close and so take the job in that situation or in that circumstance was different and difficult.
Ruffin McNeill, the former East Carolina head coach, the East Carolina Hall of Famer, took the Pirates to 4 bowl games in those 6 years. And as we said, the last time the Pirates won a bowl game, it was the Beef O'Brady's Bowl in 2013. Hopefully Mike Houston and company will win that game down in Birmingham coming up on the 27th. And so the Pirates will put another bowl trophy in the trophy case. Your Wolfpack, they're going to a bowl as well.
Yeah, we head to Charlotte here on the 25th. 26th is reporting date, and we play University of Maryland. Maryland Terrapins out there, and we've begun preparation the last 2 weekends, and we'll start full practice tomorrow. So looking forward to that challenge, and looking forward to the bowl game. I think bowl games are fantastic. The bowl games, BB, you've been to a bunch, a group of them, and I think they're getting a bad rap right here. It's one of the most exciting times for a team and young men as long as I've been doing this thing. So I'm excited about going to Charlotte, excited about playing Maryland, and let's go.
Yeah, your first bowl game in East Carolina was against Maryland, right? The Military Bowl and that was at RFK Stadium.
Well, you know what? That was the first bowl game as a head coach in East Carolina, and I think Ralph Friedgen had just been let go.
Yeah,
well, that was a different type. I've been in some weird situations, but he had just got let go, and so it wasn't really a happy type situation between the head coaches. But they had a really good, talented team, and we came up a little short up there. But I enjoyed that experience anyway. We enjoyed the week up, and they did a great job taking care of our team.
Ruffin McNeill, the East Carolina Hall of Famer. Coach, thanks so much for your time today. We certainly appreciate it. We hope you and Nerlene and everybody have a great holiday season, and you'll be on the road after that for the with the bowl game coming up. So that'll be a lot of fun for you as well. But should be great. Great time of the year, isn't it?
Man, it is a great time, BB. You got basketball going on, and just finished soccer yesterday, the World Cup excitement, and you got football going on too, college and NFL, so it's really, I know it's busy for you right now, my friend.
Yeah,
looking forward to this season and all the girls coming home, and you get a chance to spoil them a little bit, but looking forward to it, man. Same to you and your family. BB, give them a big hug for me too, okay?
Will do. Appreciate it. Ruffin McNeill joining us here on the Brian Bailey Show. Thanks so much. All right, let's take another break. We'll be back with more. Sammy Batten's up next, talking recruiting for East Carolina. National Signing Day set for Wednesday. Back with more after this.
BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in Eastern North Carolina. With homes in Blackwood, Mills Creek, Dalton's Cove and Farmville, and Belmar and Ayden, they're constantly expanding. Now to Laurel Glen and Sarah's Way, plus the new duplex community at Abigail Trails. BMS Builders can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or ECU football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. Call 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
The Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us for our unmatched variety of burger combinations, from the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill, with 4 amazing locations in Eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in Uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed.
Enjoy the comfort, style, and beauty of the holidays at Bostic Sugg Furniture. We have everything you need to deck your halls for less. Living room furniture for family get-togethers, dining sets for holiday dinners, bedrooms, and more. Save up to 70% off clearance items, plus 6 months special financing. Settle down to a long winter's nap on a comfortable new mattress with 48 months special financing. We have your holiday comfort savings at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
It's bow time. You've probably heard folks say, don't call it a comeback. But at Bojangles, we don't like to beat around the bush. So when the sizzling, savory pork chop griller's back in all its tender, marinated chili lime glory, and you can get a pork chop griller combo for just $4.59, go ahead, call it a comeback. Get a legendary pork chop griller combo for just $4.59, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
You've had your new computer a few years now, but lately it's been running super slow, acting strange, and you're worried about viruses and losing data.
This is driving me mad!
Let the experts at University PC Care in Greenville and New Bern professionally diagnose your Mac or PC to see what's really going on. They'll determine the root cause and not just symptoms, so you don't waste money fixing the wrong issues. Call 252-558-1280 for in-store or remote service, or make an appointment online at universitypccare.com.
Oh, that's my piece of the shakaroni. That's the biggest one we make.
They've donated $1 from every shakaroni to the Papa John's Foundation.
Dang, that's huge. If the hoop was as big as that pizza, maybe you'd have made some of your free throws. Somebody save me a slice. Where'd he come from?
Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates.
This is Brian Bailey, host of The Brian Bailey Show, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. We continue on a busy Monday. Legendary recruiting guru Sammy Batten joins us now. He spent 36 years as a sports writer, 31 years and 9 months at the Fayetteville newspaper down there, the Fayetteville Times, and he retired, but he's working even more now than he did when he was actually working, and he joins us now to talk a little recruiting. Sammy, you still keeping busy, huh?
Yeah, Brian. You know, I don't want to bore myself, so I keep my hand in a little bit of recruiting, and I've been covering a little, college football this year too. So even in retirement, I think I've found more opportunities to write than I did when I was actually a full-time employee.
See, I tell people all the time that I really don't want to retire, because I'm kind of scared of not having anything to do. But you make it sound like it may be more fun because you can kind of do it and pick and choose and do what you want to do.
Well, I think it is now. And so many media outlets now are using freelance people as opposed to hiring people full-time, as we all know how our industry has gone. So I really had more opportunities. I've turned down so many things, but it's nice that I can kind of pick and choose the things that I really want to do and am passionate about. So it's worked out well, and it's not like I'm working a 40-hour week either. I still find time. I play a lot of recreation softball still as my body continues to deteriorate. But I'm still out there doing a little bit of that too. So I found, and I'm doing a little traveling. I just recently got back from Europe. I went to St. Louis to see my beloved St. Louis Cardinals this summer. So I've been doing a little bit of that. So I'm staying busy, both having fun and doing a little work too.
Sammy Batten called me one day, and you got to remember, Sammy's been on my show now for decades, basically. Comes on, he knows more about recruiting than I'll ever know, so I bring him on all the time, at least once a year to talk about the recruits and that kind of thing, gives us some great information. But he calls me one day, and he said, Bailey, I need a favor. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I'll do anything in the world for you because you've been good to me for so many years. And Sammy asked me, he's in charge of the Heisman Trophy voters in the state of North Carolina, so you asked me to be a voter. And my first first thought was, Sammy, I'm doing you a favor by doing this. Are you kidding me? This is an honor. And it's been an honor for the last several years. But that's the kind of thing that I think you look at it as an honor too, don't you?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, that's the most prestigious award in college football, and to help select the winner of that award is really an honor. I mean, I remember growing up, watching the Heisman Trophy ceremonies, or watching guys who were, contenders for that honor, and I've been a voter now for 20-some years, and I take every vote very seriously, try to do my homework, and make a good decision. And I know there's always going to be people that don't agree with, who you vote for or that kind of thing. But I do try to do, and I think most voters do, try to take it very seriously and vote for qualified people.
Yeah, I agree, and it's kind of fun the way you go to a website and they send you a link, and then you have to punch in this code, and it's all the balloting is top secret. You don't talk about who you voted for until after the thing's over. But I really have enjoyed it the last several years, and I appreciate you thinking enough of me to include me in your group. You have 19 you said in North Carolina?
Yeah, there are 19 voters in North Carolina, and a large group of those, like yourself, have been doing it for several years. But then every year, especially with the turnover in our industry now, I do have to find a couple of new people every year, and that's getting harder every year too, because a lot of our media now are people who work directly with certain schools or websites with certain schools, and there's a lot of gray area there. But you're not supposed to have an association with a particular school to be a voter in terms of working for that school. So it gets a little tricky now, because there's not as many people working in the newspaper industry or even in the TV industry now. So it gets harder to find qualified people who are actually covering college football these days to vote. But I think we've got a good, solid group here in North Carolina. And like I said, it's always one of the neat things about being the state representative is to be able to call folks like you, like I did, and offer you that opportunity, because everybody really is kind of thrilled about, getting that chance and for such a prestigious award.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I certainly appreciate the call on that one. All right, let's talk recruiting a little bit. Now, we could do a whole show on just how it's changed over the last couple of years, but where do you even start in recruiting? I mean, the Pirates hope to sign, I've heard, as many as 20, 22, 24. I think that's going to include some from the transfer portal. Are all colleges including transfer portal transfers in their class? What's going on with recruiting?
It's a whole new ballgame. I mean, the transfer portal and the NIL situation has really changed the landscape of college football recruiting, especially at the FBS level. You got kids who, at the end of the season, decide that they're going to leave, which creates a whole new vacuum in programs. That all of a sudden in December, you're looking to replace 5 to 6 to 10 people who decided that they want to go somewhere else and try their luck playing. And that affects teams' depth. It affects their starters. I mean, you got, kids who have an extra year of eligibility, like Devin Leary at NC State, the quarterback. I was shocked to see him leave that program with 1 year to play, particularly when he's probably going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate, next year. And would have been this year had he not gotten hurt. But they have a couple of young quarterbacks, who played well when he was out, and so I guess he decided, to go somewhere else. But again, those kind of departures leaves big voids in programs, and then all of a sudden in December, really after you've done most of your recruiting, particularly with high school kids, now all of a sudden you've got this big vacuum in your program that you have to fill. And most people are now, instead of going and looking at a high school kid to fill that spot, or even a junior college kid, now they're looking in this transfer portal where, most of the guys have some level of experience in college, and they'd rather take a chance on that guy than a kid out of high school who's never played at the college level. So it really has changed the recruiting calendar. First of all, is now you're getting more action in December than ever before. And you're going to see a lot of action from Wednesday after this early signing period to the traditional signing period in February. There's going to be a lot more action because of that transfer portal. So it really has changed the game of recruiting in a big way.
Yeah, coaches kind of look around, and if they have a need, if they get a high school kid, obviously they've got to invest a lot into getting that player ready to go. Whereas if they go to the transfer portal, that player can come in and help out right away, and there's no penalty to transfer. I mean, it's just, and the NIL deals, I mean, it's not what the NCAA, I think, thought they were getting when they decided to go with all this stuff. I know everybody says, well, the players deserve to be paid, and I agree, but I don't think it's fair that, the big-time schools can have NIL money, just crazy money, and they can throw it at people left and right.
Yeah, and, and if a kid comes from a certain economic situation and can go to a bigger school and make millions of dollars, literally, you can't blame them for that. But then you've got a school that's left that has invested a lot of time and money in recruiting that kid, to its school, and then all of a sudden, that's a wasted time and money on your part because this kid decided to go, where the grass was greener in terms of NIL money. And, we saw that last year. The Addison kid up in Pittsburgh, the top receiver in the ACC, decided he could make more money by going to USC, changing coast, and he went out there and signed $1 million contract with Nike. So that's going to happen more and more, particularly with premier players, where they see they can go to an Alabama or a USC or a Michigan or wherever they feel like they can make more money on the side. And again, I'm like you, I agree that these kids should be getting paid for the use of their likeness and names. But I do think there's going to have to be some restrictions placed on this at some point to keep that from happening, to keep schools from losing their premier players for the sole purpose of making more money.
Yeah, it's the wild west out there, I think you could say, as far as recruiting. All right, take a look at at East Carolina's recruiting class and start with the state of North Carolina with some of the kids in this class. What do you see in this class?
Well, first of all, at this point, there's only 2 kids, high school kids from the state of North Carolina in the class. They're 2 pretty good ones, though. DeMaurice Jenkins is a defensive edge rusher type kid out of North Mecklenburg that I think is highly underrated. I think he's a kid that's going to grow into a tremendous pass rusher at East Carolina, and again, just a highly underrated guy. And then Bryce Weaver from nearby there at D.H. Conley, a big offensive lineman. Obviously he's been attending games at East Carolina for a long time, sort of a legacy kid, I guess you would say, just because he's grown up in the shadow of East Carolina football and has got a lot of connections to that program as Conley has. So those are the 2 guys from in-state. But what has really been interesting about this class is how the coaching staff at East Carolina has worked the state of Georgia and South Carolina. I mean, they have 9 kids from those 2 states, including 5 out of Georgia, and there were even more had it not been for a couple of decommitments from kids from those states. So it's really been interesting to see how aggressively they've been going after talent in those 2 states. And I think it has more to do with their needs are better filled in those states in this recruiting cycle. The East Carolina is going to always recruit North Carolina. But I think in this recruiting cycle, some of their needs are better met in those states where maybe that position or particular area is not as rich in North Carolina this year.
Yeah, when you think about what they've done down there, and you think, Coach Houston was on the road recruiting, and he had to go to Birmingham for the press conference last week for the reception and the press conference, and he had to be picked up on the road. He had to be picked up in Atlanta and then shuttled off to Birmingham and came back through Atlanta. So Georgia, as the guys recruiting and trying to make sure they keep their recruits. I mean, I think in this day and age, and you've seen it through all these years that you've done it, but it's even harder probably to keep a recruit.
No, it really is, and it always seems like once a kid commits to a school, then it seems like 10 other schools jump in on them. So if you discover, a rare find somewhere and you make an offer and they commit to you, then all of a sudden other people start watching that video and going, maybe we should have recruited them too. So it's so hard, and and we're talking about 17 and 18-year-old kids in a lot of these cases. It's a lot of pressure. When you said yes to one school, but then maybe a bigger school comes in and that you've watched on television your whole life, hard to say no. And so that's why I think you see a lot of these kids, flip-flopping over the course of a recruiting cycle. East Carolina, for example, right now, they've had 5 kids who committed to them at one point in this process who have flipped to, either decommitted and flipped to other schools or reopened their recruitment. So, again, that's part of the game these days. And that's why it's so important that once you do get a commitment from a kid, you can't stop recruiting them. It's almost like you have to re-recruit them, just to make sure they stay with you until you can get their name on a letter of intent.
And then, the early signing day was developed to try to alleviate some of the pressures of February, but with teams are trying to go to bowl games and trying to do all of that, plus recruiting, it makes for just a crazy busy time.
Yeah, and I've always said I think the December early signing period is ridiculous. It comes so close to the traditional signing period. I don't know what the benefit is there. I've always been in favor of the early signing period, maybe back in August.
Yeah,
because you actually have, if you look at when these kids committed, a good portion of these recruiting classes, with the high school kids particularly, they're already committed by August. So why not go ahead and let them sign, enjoy their senior years, keep the hassle of other schools coming in and bothering them or trying to recruit them and change their minds, while they're trying to play their senior years. And you don't have to spend a bunch more money continuing to recruit that kid and time. So I've always thought an early signing period would make more sense. And I think the December signing period just adds more pressure and more work time. And, like you said, with East Carolina going to a bowl game, now they've got that added pressure of having to sign these kids, hold on to them at the last minute while they're trying to prepare for a bowl game. And I think that's just way too much on the coaching staffs, to have to worry about it. I think it would be much easier and more of a benefit all around, with a signing period in August.
Pirates have the early signing day on the 21st. Bryce Weaver, by the way, will have a signing deal, a little press conference at 9 a.m. at DH-Com. They got the news of that late last week. So, and he's signing with East Carolina to be a Pirate. Pirates have the National Signing Day on Wednesday, and the Pirates leave for Birmingham coming up on Friday. And as you heard Mark Meadows say, on Friday night when they get to Birmingham, they'll be going to a comedy club and a pasta buffet and that kind of thing as their first night in Birmingham to get ready for the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. Sammy, do you have any bowl plans? You going to any bowl games to cover?
No, not this time around. I covered the ACC championship game with UNC and Clemson on December 3rd, and that ended my my coverage, at least for game coverage this year. So I'm just going to be watching and enjoying all these bowl games. Birmingham is a great site. I covered the Pirates down there several years back when Ruffin McNeill was still a head coach, and really enjoyed the trip down there. Birmingham is such a historic city. That game is played in an older stadium, which I really enjoy. And the folks down there just do a great job with that game. And, and so I think this is going to be a great experience for the Pirates, and looking forward to watching that and all the other teams in our state who are going to be participating in bowl games. I mean, this has been a really exceptional year in our state, I think, when you look at Wake Forest and UNC, NC State, East Carolina, Duke, all going to bowl games. I think just shows the caliber of college football in our state, and it just keeps getting better.
Legion Field used to be the site of the bowl game. They now play in Protective Stadium, which is, I think it seats 42,000, new stadium right there in uptown Birmingham. And it was home of the entire USFL this past year because the Birmingham Stallions play there, but they played all the USFL games this year in Birmingham, which was kind of an oddity. But it should be a nice venue for the event coming up, the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl on December the 27th, so that should be a lot of fun. Wrapping things up with Sammy Batten, when you look at that Pirate recruiting class, you gave us some of the high points, but how do you grade it? Can you grade it yet? I mean, as Steve Logan used to say, those A-plus recruiting classes would get you fired, but how do you think the Pirates did?
Well, I think they've done well so far, but I think there's a lot to be done. I mean, you're through the transfer portal and some other high school kids that they've made, contacts with. A lot of kids have decommitted, which are allowing East Carolina to get in on some of those guys. So I think that, right now they've got 12 high school kids committed. They've got 3 transfers who have committed to them, all of whom are really quality players. So I think it's too soon. I like what they've done so far. They've really got some immediate help at receiver and at linebacker, which I think were 2 places that they wanted to secure, some people. I think they could probably use another offensive lineman or 2 in this class. Wouldn't be surprised to see them try to pick up a running back, going forward. But they have had so many kids, either through the transfer portal or decommitted kids from other schools that have come to visit Greenville just in this month, in the last couple of weekends. I think you're going to see a great deal of movement, several more added before signing day on Wednesday, but also a great deal of movement between this early signing period and the traditional one in February. I think there's going to be a lot of activity going on with the Pirates, in the next couple months heading into that traditional period. So it's too early right now to say. I like what they've done so far. They filled some, really immediate needs, but I think there's going to be a lot more activity with them going forward, just based on the number of guys they've had in there, over the past week.
Sammy Batten joining us to talk recruiting. Sammy, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy your holiday season. We certainly appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Brian. It's always great to talk to you, and happy holidays to all the Pirate fans.
All right. Sammy Batten. We'll take a final break, wrap things up on this edition of The Brian Bailey Show, and after this.
You've had your new computer a few years now, but lately it's been running super slow, acting strange, and you're worried about viruses and losing data.
This is driving me mad.
Let the experts at University PC Care in Greenville and New Bern professionally diagnose your Mac or PC to see what's really going on. They'll determine the root cause and not just symptoms, so you don't waste money fixing the wrong issues. Call 252-558-1280 for in-store or remote service, or make an appointment online at universitypccare.com.
Oh, that's my piece of the shakaroni. That's the biggest one we make.
They've donated $1 from every shakaroni to the Papa John's Foundation.
Dang, that's huge. If the hoop was as big as that pizza, maybe you'd have made some of your free throws. Somebody save me a slice. Where'd he come from?
Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates! Your vehicle is a big part of your life. That's why you should trust the team at Greenville Auto World for all your vehicle needs. Greenville Auto World believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Visit greenvilleautoworld.net to see their fully stocked inventory of SUVs, trucks, and cars. Need a lift kit, custom rims, or wheels? Greenville Auto World can upgrade your vehicle today. For sales or service, visit Greenville Auto World on Highway 43 in Greenville.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant in Bourbon Bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and made-from-scratch pastas. Check out the 16-ounce cowboy steak or the seafood delight pasta. Join us for our legendary brunch on Sundays from 10 to 2. The Rick House can feed your larger crowds with off-site catering and room for 125 in our adjacent banquet hall. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
This is Miles Bear, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. As we wrap it up, I want to thank our guest today, Mark Meadows, the executive director of the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. We'll see him coming up next week. I want to thank head coach Ruffin McNeill, the former Pirate coach, now a special assistant to Dave Dorn at North Carolina State. He shared some thoughts on Mike Leach. And I want to thank Sammy Batten, the legendary recruiting guru, for joining us on our show today. We will take a couple of weeks off. We'll see you back on January the 9th as we continue on. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to everybody. Ho, 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 ho. And we'll see you later.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, The Rick House, Greenville Utilities, BMS Builders, Seared Chop House, The Gavigan Agency, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
Join us next week for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, right here on Pirate Radio. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville.